Good morning, students. In the previous video lecture session, we have learnt in detail the meaning of prospectus, its importance, contents of prospectus, legal provisions relating to issue of prospectus, and so many other related aspects of a prospectus. Today in this session, let us discuss about another important document, that is a statement in lieu of a prospectus. And let us see what are the differences between a prospectus and statement in lieu of prospectus. And here in this session I will cover the meaning of different types of prospectus issued by a company. So let us begin our session with the meaning of the document statement in lieu of prospectus. So sometimes a public company may be able to raise the required amount of capital privately from the known circle. In such cases, it is not required to invite the public to buy its shares or debentures. Question of inviting the public to buy the shares or debentures does not arise when a public company is able to raise the required amount of capital from the known circle, that too privately. But to fulfill the legal formalities relating to issue of shares, a public company is required to prepare a document called as statement in lieu of a prospectus. Statement prepared instead of a prospectus. So this document has to be prepared, and the copy of this document must be filed with the registrar of companies before the company proceeds with the allotment of shares privately to the known people. So now the question is, what are the differences between prospectus and statement in lieu of prospectus? See, we can differentiate between these two documents on the following basis. So differences can be studied under the following headings. First one, proper prospectus. So prospectus can be regarded as prospectus proper, whereas a statement in lieu of prospectus is a pro forma prospectus. It is not the regular prospectus prepared and issued by the company, and it is not issued to the public. Statement in lieu of prospectus is not issued to the public, just it is filed with the registrar of companies. And then regarding their significance, see, prospectus serves more purposes and its significance is greater than statement in lieu of prospectus. So on that ground also we can differentiate between these two documents. And then the need for prospectus arises when a public company invites the public to buy its shares or debentures, whereas the need for statement in lieu of prospectus arises when a public company raises finance privately by allotting the shares to known people. When it raises funds privately, it has to prepare a statement or document called as statement in lieu of prospectus, and it must be filed with the registrar. Then issue. Prospectus is issued to the public, whereas statement in lieu of prospectus is not issued to the public. The copy of it is filed with the registrar. And the purpose. Prospectus is required to be prepared for the purpose of filing it with the registrar as well as for issuing it to the public, whereas a statement in lieu of prospectus is required to be prepared just to file it with the registrar of companies. It is not issued to the public. Then accompanying the application for shares, all applications for the issue of shares must be accompanied by prospectus, but application forms need not be accompanied by statement in lieu of prospectus. So these are all the differences between these two documents, namely prospectus and statement in lieu of prospectus. Now let us move on to the next aspect, that is types of prospectus. There are different types of prospectus. Let us study about them in brief. See, we have deemed prospectus or prospectus by implication, or red herring prospectus, shelf prospectus, and abridged prospectus. Deemed prospectus or prospectus by implication. So, provisions relating to deemed prospectus or definition of prospectus is given under section 25, subsection 1 of Companies Act of 2013. So, any document by which the company offers any securities for sale to the public shall for all purposes be deemed to be the prospectus issued by a company. So, deemed prospectus means any document through which a company makes offer for the sale of shares to the public. Sometimes a company may entrust the work of issuing shares to some agency called as issue house. So that issue house may issue certain advertisement or certain document to the public to invite them to buy the shares or debentures. Such advertisements or documents issued by issue houses are also regarded as deemed prospectus or prospectus by implication. Any document through which a company makes an offer for the sale of shares is called as a deemed prospectus. Move on to the next one, red herring prospectus. Section 32 of Companies Act of 2013 contains provisions relating to the issue of a red herring prospectus. So, red herring prospectus does not contain all information about the prices of securities offered and the quantum of securities to be issued. It does not give complete description about the prices of securities issued or regarding the number of securities to be issued by the company. According to the Act, the firm should file this prospectus to the registrar at least 3 days before the opening of the offer and subscription list. According to Companies Act, at least 3 days before the opening of subscription list, copy of this document must be filed with the registrar. Move on to the next one, shelf prospectus. Section 31 of Companies Act of 2013 has defined the term shelf prospectus. So, shelf prospectus is issued when a company or any public financial institution offers one or more securities to the public. If a company makes multiple issues of securities during a year, in such cases, it can prepare a document called as a shelf prospectus. And this prospectus has a validity period of 1 year. Within a period of 1 year, if a company makes a further issue of securities, no need of preparing separate prospectus. Instead of that, company can submit the shelf prospectus with the registrar, and whenever the company submits shelf prospectus, it should be accompanied by information memorandum. Information memorandum is nothing but a proposal for raising funds, which contains a description, complete description about the different aspects of company's business. It is a proposal for raising funds, information memorandum. It gives complete description about various aspects of company's business. It helps the investors to take a decision regarding their investment in the securities of a company. So, when a company makes further issue of shares during the same year, instead of preparing a separate prospectus, it can file shelf prospectus along with the information memorandum. So, the cost of preparing new prospectus and the various formalities that have to be fulfilled regarding the issue of prospectus can be avoided by using this document called as shelf prospectus. Move on to the next type of prospectus, that is abridged prospectus. Section 2, subsection 1 of Companies Act of 2013 contains provisions relating to abridged prospectus. So abridged prospectus is a memorandum containing all significant features of the prospectus as specified by Securities Exchange Board of India. This type of prospectus includes all the information in brief. It gives a summary to the investors to make further decisions. A company cannot issue an application form for the purchase of securities unless an abridged prospectus accompanies such a form. This document gives brief description about company's activities. One will come to know about the activities of a company by going through this document. It is a summary of various aspects relating to a company or relating to a company's business. So, Companies Act has given certain legal provisions relating to the issue of abridged prospectus under Section 2, Subsection 1 of Companies Act of 2013. So, a company may issue different types of prospectus. Maybe deemed prospectus or prospectus by implication or adhering prospectus or shelf prospectus or abridged prospectus. Hope you have understood. Thank you, students.